Now at 5, 10 years ago, Memphis voters enthusiastically approved limiting city elected officials to 2 4-year terms. Now, they also approved instant runoff voting, which allows voters to rank candidates and do away with runoffs altogether. Well, both are supposed to take effect next year. That is, unless they approve 2 measures on November's ballot. Local 24 News reporter Mike Matthews has your local election headquarters.
Well, you know, for us, there's a time and place for everything. There's a time for people to have their breakfast, a time for people to have their lunch, a time for people just to chow down. Well, I got something you can chow down on. University of Memphis Law School professor Steve Mulroy should have a slogan: Remember 2008. There are 2 of 3 questions on this year's ballot that could change how you voted 10 years ago.
Some number of years ago, Memphis voters in a referendum voted for term limits and also for instant runoff voting. We haven't tried either yet, and the city council is trying to trick voters into undoing what they already said.
Voters said elected officials should be limited to 2 consecutive terms, 8 years in office back in 2008. But look at the question on the November ballot. It wants to allow candidates 3 4-year terms.
The first question makes it sound like if you're for term limits, you should vote for it, but actually it's the opposite because it extends term limits from 2 to 3.
In 2008, voters approved an instant runoff voting plan, which would do away with runoffs and give winners through ranked voting. Now a question asks if you want instant runoff voting, even though 71% of you voted for it and it's never been used.
If you like term limits, you should vote no. If you like instant runoff voting, you should vote no. If you like majority outcomes, you should vote no.
It is important to look at those questions, to read those questions, and if you have any questions, ask. It's that important. In Memphis, Mike Matthews, Local 24 News.